abstract and vague into reality, and the laboratory is therefore his kitchen. Yes, the laboratory is where we do our work, where we are called the mock professionals, and where we do what we know how to do best. It is our kitchen that makes us make this to happen. Depending on your field of specialization and where you graduated or the option or techniques in which you graduated from. Now, he is well trained, a laboratory technologist or scientist is well trained in an academic and research facility and duly certified and licensed to practice by the Nigerian Institute of Science Laboratory Technology. And they belong to the association called Association of Science Laboratory Technologists of Nigeria. We also have some other sub associations. Now, like I said before, they are well trained in laboratory techniques and laboratory procedures. Now, they are trained in both the monotechnic, polytechnic, and in the university. They are trained in the monotechnic, polytechnics, and in the universities. Monotechnics and polytechnics graduates are called either technicians or technologists. Now, when you are a graduate of OND National Diploma, you are termed as a technician. Then when you graduate as an HND graduate, which is the higher national diploma, you are termed as a technologist. Now, for those that went to the university and they graduated from the university, they are called scientists. They are called scientists. Now, it is very peculiar to know that S-Doctor is a discipline that cuts across different specializations and options. We have different options and specializations as a science laboratory technique. Like I introduced myself before now to you, I am a graduate of science laboratory technology, biomedical option or biomedical technique. I believe everyone can hear me. I believe we can hear.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes.
yes, we can hear you.
Loud and
Okay.
clear.
Now, yes. Now, I want to delve into an area that is bringing a lot of controversy. Seriously, an area that is bringing a lot of controversy. Now, science laboratory technology is an area or is a profession that has a lot of specializations and techniques. Specializations and techniques. Yes. So presently, we have the
Mr. Anthony, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
hello. Are you there?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello. Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Like as I was saying, we have a lot of specializations under science laboratory techniques. Now, as I said earlier, I am a graduate of biomedical techniques. Now, before I go into the techniques, now one special thing about being a science laboratory technologist is that you are both a scientist and at the same time a technologist. By virtue, you are both a scientist who undergo research and other things, and you are also at the same time an engineer. I don't know if you get it. You are a scientist and at the same time an engineer. Are we following?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now let me explain. Let me buttress on this issue. Now, as a graduate of science laboratory technology, now you can as well remember that there is one peculiar course that is specially known, that SLT is specially known for, which is general laboratory technology or general laboratory techniques, which is GLT. It is only SLT graduates that offer that course, both in the university or in the polytechnic. Now, and if you are well acquainted with your training, you will know that you are being trained in both engineering, which is basic physics and electronics, maybe in your second year and third year, and along the line you are not trained in your core areas of specialization. And that is why you can see that a science laboratory graduate is specialized and known for maintenance of laboratory equipment, troubleshooting, and also involved in repair, making you an engineer and also making you a scientist that carry out research respective of your discipline. Back to our discipline. We have a whole wide range of discipline in SLT. Now we have the biomedical techniques, we have the physiology and pharmacology, we have the histology, cytology, we have the microbiology, mycology, microbiology, virology. We also have microbiology, biochemistry. All these ones I just listed are partly clinical laboratory techniques. You can find them in the College of Health Sciences or College of Pure and Applied Sciences. We also have the biological sciences, biological techniques also. Then moving to the physical sciences of the profession, you will see geology and mining, you will see physics and electronics, physics and production, geology and geology on its own. Now, again, when we go to the chemical parts of the profession, you will see industrial chemistry and petrochemical techniques. You will see chemistry techniques. You will see industrial chemistry and a whole lot of other techniques that are too numerous to mention. Now, one peculiar thing about this profession is it is a multidisciplinary profession and multifaceted. Multidisciplinary in the sense that we have a lot of options in SLT. Then when we say multifaceted, as an SLT graduate, you are both a scientist and also an engineer. And not just that alone, you are also a laboratory manager, meaning a graduate is well diverse and well recognized and well known in different areas. Now, that is just a little brief about the profession. Now, why choose SLT as a profession? Why choose SLT as a profession? Yes, it's a question that everybody that wants to go into studying in the university, in the polytechnic, we always ask yourself, why do I want to go to school? Why do I want to study further? Why do I want to go to a higher institution? Now, ask is why do you want to study SLT? Now, depending on your choice, yes, I understand very well that majority of the persons that study SLT today, most especially in the polytechnic, studied SLT because SLT is the only science-related courses for those that have wanted to do medicine, biochemistry, physiology, and a whole lot of other courses. In the polytechnic, SLT is the only option or course that is peculiar to accommodate a whole lot of all those people that wanted to go to health sciences but could not go to the university and ended up in the polytechnic. So SLT was their preferred choice. So now, finding yourself in this profession, what do you now intend for yourself? And that is the question. Why choose SLT as a profession for those that really love to do SLT? Now, SLT is a profession that has a lot of opportunities. Yes, I say it again. It has a lot of opportunities. Choosing SLT as a profession, a career path, is the best you can think of. Yes, I say it is the best you can think of. Yes, presently, I know there are some hiccups which I will talk about as we go along the line. But choosing it, because it is a profession that it has different, it's like a tree with many branches, and its roots spread across every areas and everywhere. Now, I have another area that I am supposed to talk about here also, which says how to get licensed as an SLT graduate. Like I said before now, SLT is a profession. It is a profession, not just a course or a department you just go and study in the school. No, it is a profession. And now, it is a profession that its members are licensed to practice. Yes, I use the word license. That means when you graduate as an SLT member, as when you finish your school, be it the HND, be it the OND, or be it the BSc pathway, when you graduate, you are supposed to obtain your license by writing a professional exam. When you pass it, you are now to be inducted the way medical doctors are inducted, the way pharmacists are inducted, the way nurses are inducted. You are not supposed to be inducted into the profession. It is only then you cannot beat your chest and say, I am a licensed member, empowered by law to practice. Now, what makes our license to be relevant and valid? The institute, the body responsible for licensing SLT graduates, is called the Nigerian Institute of Science Laboratory Technology. It was enacted into law by the federal government of Nigeria in the year 2003. And our act, which empowers us, give us the mandate, the jurisdiction, the authority to practice as a laboratory scientist or technologist or technician, is called the NICS Act 12 of 2003. And when you become a member, we have different categories of membership. We have the student membership, which is eligible for all students in the tertiary institution. We have the ordinary member, which are reserved for ND graduates. We have the honorary members, which are people who are distinguished, who are found worthy to be called members of this profession, even if they didn't graduate or school. We all know how honorary degree is being awarded. Then we have the associate member. For you to be an associate member of the profession, which is a full-fledged member, you must have graduated from a university or a polytechnic, having your HND or your BSc. That is only when you can be called an associate member. And we have the fellow. The fellow member can only be attained after spending a minimum of 10 years in the profession as a science laboratory professional. You now go up. There are pathways in which you are to obtain your membership. So registration in need is through writing a professional exam when you graduate from the university or the polytechnic, meaning by the time you are supposed to be in your finals, your school or the association in your school is supposed to meet with the institute. And when they meet with the institute, they obtain forms for all members of the class. When they obtain the form, they now prepare them for professional examination. Only those who write the professional examination passes the exam are not qualified to be inducted. When you are inducted, you now become a licensed professional with a membership and a license, which enables you to practice as a science laboratory professional. So that is how you go about being inducted as a science laboratory graduate. Then another thing that is very peculiar to a lot of questions, what many students, many graduates always ask when it comes to our profession is, Can SLT members work in a hospital? I know this is what many persons are waiting for. They want to know if we can work in a hospital. Yes. Now let me start. From the beginning, when I was making the explanation, I said it that this profession is a multifaceted profession and multidisciplinary. Now, when you talk about working in a hospital, for you to be eligible to work in a hospital laboratory or in a hospital environment, you must have studied certain options under SLT. You must have studied certain options under SLT. Presently, there are there are 5 core clinical options you can do. Okay, let me say there are more than 4. There are more than 4. Let me just see. Let me just try and break them down for you. For you to be able to work in a hospital laboratory, 1, you must have studied either biomedical techniques under SLT. You must have done physiology and pharmacology. You must have done either microbiology. You must have studied biochemistry. You must have studied microbiology, virology, or microbiology, cytology, chemistry, microbiology, biochemistry, histology, cytology. You must have done all these areas because these areas are clinical areas for you to be eligible. You cannot do chemistry and expect to work in the hospital laboratory. I hope I'm communicating. You cannot do geology and mining and you expect to work in the hospital laboratory. You cannot do industrial chemistry and petrochemical techniques and you expect to work in the hospital. Now, for the question, can our members work in the hospital? The question is yes, our members can work in the hospital, but only for those who have studied in College of Health Sciences or College of Life Sciences and have done either biomedical, physiology and pharmacology, microbiology, biochemistry, cytology, or virology. It's only when you have studied in these places or you did these specializations, you are entitled to be able to work in a hospital environment. Else, forget about it. Now, we have a lot of our members that are working in the hospitals, in the laboratories. But as we all know, because of the challenges we are facing, there has been a rancor and a rivalry between the medical laboratory scientists and our members. And these are some of the reasons why the rivalry is very strong. Now, the medical laboratory scientists believe that SLT is only done in the polytechnics. Many of them do not even know that there is SLT is being done in the university. Now, when most of them want to talk to you, they will tell you they spend 7 years to graduate before they are able to be. And how many years do you spend? They will tell you SLT spend just 4 years and they do what? And they want to compete with them in the laboratory. SLT is only done or offered in the polytechnics. How can polytechnic graduates do medical courses? These are where they always hook up to. Now, let me deviate a little and give you a story of what happened yesterday. While I was trying to put things in place for this program as of yesterday, I walked into the histopathology department in my place of work. I had some friends there, and we were there gisting and discussing. And a call came to one of our guys, and it was like they want to make a recommendation, and they said the person was an SLT. The guy said, "No, we cannot recommend SLT to me. SLT cannot work in a hospital." So I was there listening. After I finished the call, I now asked him. I said, "Why would you say SLT cannot work in the hospital?" The first thing he said is, "How can SLT work in the hospital? SLT is only done in the poly." In fact, the guy was practically like saying he first of all did SLT OND before he went to do MLS. And SLT is not done in uh, OND, medical courses are not done in the polytechnic. I now asked him, are you aware that SLT is done in the university? He said it's a lie. I said, fine. I will prove to you that SLT is done in the university. But that aside, now you say that SLT do not do medical courses. How can you say something about that? He said yes. He said when they go to school, they do physiology and anatomy, and they do this, they do that. Now I now ask him, have you heard of physiology and pharmacology in SLT1? He said yes. He said he has heard of it like that. I said fine. Do you know where it is offered? Do you know where they train them? He said no. I said fine. I said first and foremost, physiology and pharmacology are trained in the university. He was looking at me, and I said, now, imagine how can someone who is specializing in physiology and pharmacology, how can you say such person did not do physiology and did not do anatomy and cannot work in the hospital? After series of arguments, I started giving him different. He was arguing, is a lie, this and this. I said, okay, just give me a minute. I went into my phone. I brought out my course options, which I did in university. In fact, it was a transcript of my colleague that I had. I brought it and I was showing him. I said, what courses are? What do you see here, up here? He said, Bachelor of Science Laboratory Technology. I said, fine. Which university? He said, Delta State University. I said, fine. Which option? Biomedical Technology. I said, fine. I said, now, what are you saying? Look, go to 200 level. What are you saying? So, physiology 201, 202, 203, 204, 205, different this thing. So he was saying introduction to physiology, blood physiology, endocrinology. He was saying all those different physiology. And I said, okay, now what is this? He saw anatomy courses, human anatomy. He was seeing head and neck. He saw lower and upper extremities and a whole lot. Then I said, okay, we go to 400 level. He started seeing pharmacology courses that were done, medical microbiology, and other courses that we did. And I said, can you see now? Are you not saying that SLT cannot do clinical? He said, if this is really true, that is to say SLT can work in the hospital. And I said, thank you very much. I said, now back to you said you spent 7 years in the university, and SLT do not spend that. I said, no. Thank God you see. What level did you see here? He saw 500 level. Fine. I said you can see 500 level. That is to say, it's a 5-year course. He said yes. And you go for NYSC for 1 year. He said yes. Now, and after everything, we now calculated and we found out that the same way they do 7 years, that is the same way we do 7 years for those that went to the university. And instantly, he was able to agree and accept with about 4 other persons that are there that truly our courses entails clinical and medical courses. Now, that now brings us to the end that SLT can work in the hospital, but depending on your area that's what options or specialty are better to choose. Hello, are we listening? What options or specialty are better to choose? Of a truth, this is a question that you can answer yourself. I cannot be the one to answer this question for you, depending on your area of interest. For those who are interested in engineering area, you can choose to go for physics and electronics, physics with production. You can choose to go into geology and mining. You can choose to go into industrial chemistry and petrochemical techniques. For those of us who feel we are in the medical line or in the clinical line, the health sector, we can choose to go for physiology, pharmacology. We can choose to go for biomedical. We can choose to go from microbiology, histology, cytology, and the rest. It all depends on you. So no option is useless. No option is bad. All options are very, very unique, depending on where your interest lies. And another area says that what are the postgraduate options for SLT graduates? Yes, as far as you did your first degree, you can also go. If you did biomedical for your first degree and there are postgraduate courses for biomedical, when you go, you now specialize in different areas of biomedical. Same way with physiology and pharmacology. I have most of my colleagues who presently did their masters in pharmacology. Some are doing, in fact, I have my own course mates, I have over five of them who are PhD holders in physiology. Some did endocrine physiology, some graduated in renal physiology, others they all have different specials. So there are a lot of areas under your specializations that you can choose for your postgraduate. For example, for those who did microbiology, you can choose to specialize as a virologist. Even those that did biochemistry alongside, you can choose to go into molecular biology as a specialization if you have it as an option. You can go into food biochemistry, industrial biochemistry, uh, pharmaceutical biochemistry, and the rest, depending on your interest. So your interest determines where you will want to specialize. Like for example, if I want to go into postgraduate in physiology area, I can decide to go into renal physiology. I can decide to go into blood physiology and other areas that are peculiar to you. So it depends on your interest and where your interest lies that you can go and specialize. And I would also like to talk about who really we are as a laboratories, technologies, or scientists. The laboratory is your workstation. The laboratory is your workstation where you carry out research, where you carry out analysis, investigations of different sorts. So, meaning when you graduate as a laboratory scientist, you have to spend majority of your day in the laboratory. That is, if you are employed as a laboratory technologist or as a scientist. Now, there are some duties that are peculiar to us as laboratory technologists or scientists, which include management of the laboratory by providing conducive environment for training through research. Meaning the laboratory, you are the owner of the laboratory. You are the owner of the laboratory. It means as a laboratory technologist or scientist, when you are employed in the laboratory, the most superior or the senior there becomes the manager, the owner, and the controller of that laboratory. Then again, one of your duties is for engaging in proper documentation of laboratory practices, installation and proper use of laboratory equipment. Documentation, engaging in proper documentation. You must be able to know all the chemicals and reagents that are in the laboratory when called at any time. You must be able to know the stock that is on ground. You must be able to know also how to carry out standard operating procedures in the laboratory as a laboratory technologist or scientist. And also you must be able to know how to carry out installation, maintenance of laboratory equipment. Also, we also design, perform, and coordinate science-based experiments and researches. That is your duty. You conduct, you design, you perform science-based experiments and research in the laboratory. And again, you also instruct and supervise students and researchers. Take note, students and researchers on laboratory procedures and experimentation in both primary, post-primary institution, which is also tertiary institution, learning, research, and also diagnostic laboratories and all other type of laboratories. You also maintain lab equipment, like I said earlier, and also carry out periodic maintenance of laboratory equipment. Remember when we were talking, I told you that as a laboratory technologist or a scientist, you are both an engineer and also a researcher. So by virtue of you being an expert, you should be able during your school days be taught how to carry out periodic maintenance, repairs of laboratory equipment and also to install laboratory equipment. That is where your GLP courses comes in. When you are doing, I don't know, during school, I think uh, you should have done basic electronic components, technical drawing, also you've drawn circuits and all those things. These are part of your training. It's one of the things every SLT graduate must pass through. And these are three engineering courses that you do. So and also install them. Also, you are to design and fabricate some basic equipment in one field of study or discipline. You should be able to design and fabricate. I think there are most of the universities today and polytechnics today that have the entrepreneurship or units where most of our members who are graduates train people on how to fabricate, design, and maintain laboratory equipment. Again, one of the duties involve participating in procurement and help in keeping stock of laboratory materials and reagents. I've said it before, you have to participate in the procurement, meaning that when the stock of your laboratory is down, it has reduced or it has gone down, you should be able to know how to participate in procurement, buying of those chemicals and reagents. You are supposed to be in charge because you, as the laboratory technology scientist, know the right materials and the active chemicals that are needed for certain laboratory procedures, practicals, or experiments. And also another one is serve as a maintenance officer in industry, science-based organizations, and institutions such as petrochemical industries, biomedical and chemical laboratory, food industries, hospitals, diagnostic and research laboratories. You are to serve as research manager and also maintenance officer in all these laboratories that have been mentioned. Also, you are to offer your services in your area of specialization to members of the public, meaning as a laboratory scientist or technologist, you have the right and empowered by law to carry out private practice, meaning you can open your own laboratory, register it with the institute, it will be certified, and you can carry out laboratory analysis depending on your area of discipline. That is to say, as an SLT member, you can have your own lab. I have colleagues in Delta State that have over 7 to 8 laboratories in Delta State. Yes, clinical laboratories and research laboratories in Delta State. And they are functioning and operating till date as I speak to you. So that is all about your duty as a
Wow.
laboratory scientist. And I hope
Yes,
you have
yes,
learned
yes,
one or
yes,
two. If there are any
yes,
questions,
yes.
we are ready to
You
answer. So,
that was intriguing. I think does anybody agree with me that was really really educative?
Yes.
Do we agree? Okay. So we will take questions. We don't have much time. We have ended by 8:30, so we'll take about 5 questions, 5 short questions. So if you have questions to ask, please just drop the questions. You can raise your hand, and I will let you speak. I think I'm allowing everybody to speak. So if you have questions to ask, please feel free, drop your questions, air your mind out, and ask your questions. Is there anyone with a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay. So we have two. So Joseph, go first.
Yeah, please, I have a question also.
Okay, so we'll
Okay.
take it one after the other. Joseph, go first.
All right. Thank you so much for this enlightenment. Um, I would like to ask, why is it that SLT graduates don't go for internship like other professional courses like medicine, pharmacy, nursing, and MLS? Hello, I
Mr.
can.
Anthony, we can't hear you.
Can hello, can you hear me
Okay,
now?
yes, yes.
Yes, like I said, this is a professional discipline. Is a profession that you, as you go along in your school days, you are trained specifically to master laboratory techniques while in school. Unfortunately, we all know how the school system in Nigeria has degraded to. And that is why you see that it is like this. In those days when the profession started, in the late 70s, 80s, and early 90s, that it started at LTTF, Laboratory Training Techniques and Scheme. When it started in those days, in the 70s and in the 80s, as you go along with your training, you are well trained in laboratory analysis. So then you don't even need to. It's a practical oriented. Is a practical oriented training. It is not like uh, some of all these courses that you go to school first and now start going to do one or two internship and the rest along the line. But on the issue of internship, presently the institute is working on that with the federal government to make sure that the internships suffice. Normally, like I told you, when you graduate in your final, you are supposed to do professional examinations that cut across different techniques. During that process, you are supposed to be trained in the laboratory, and it's kind of a 1 year of training. So during that process, it's more or less like your internship and more or less like the internship. But what the institute is trying to do now is to put it so that it can be gazetted into law, so that when our members graduate, they can start going for internship. Presently, all those things are on ground, and the institute is working seriously to make sure that the hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello. Mr. Joseph, I
Yeah.
hope your question has been answered.
Yes, sir.
So don't worry, the institute is
Okay,
working on getting the internship done as soon as possible. You know, it takes time and it takes processes. Even the nurses, the doctors, and the pharmacists that did theirs, it's also started one day. So presently they are working on it, and hopefully in the nearest future, our graduates will be going for internship too. So that is very soon. So thank you for that. The next question, who is answering again?
good evening, B.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, please. My question now is, for instance, now I'm still an undergraduate, but in my own institution, we don't have option like microbiology. So the whole thing is being uh, merged together with some other courses. So we are now having SLT biotechnology instead of SLT microbiology. So we have other options like
Oh,
SLT biochemistry, SLT geology, but SLT physics. But instead of having SLT microbiology, so we now only have SLT biotechnology. Now, my question now
okay.
is, during the course of study, we are being taught so many courses that is being related to microbiology, to industry, even to biochemical and to what's it called, to microbiology also. So my question now is, as a graduate of science laboratory biotechnologies, where is our main option? Since we are almost offering mostly all the courses related to other fields like physics, because we did some courses related to physics also. And another question now is, we haven't made any arrangement about on this writing professional exam of attending in my own institution now. The question now is, assuming when I'm done with my schooling, is this something that I can walk up to the NISLT maybe at Ibadan to seek for the professional exam or what? Then my last question now is, for me to have access to the professional exam, do I need to have a certain grade before I can have access to write the exam? So thank you very much.
Okay, first and foremost on your question, you said what you are presently doing is biotechnology. Which school, if I should ask?
Ekiti State University.
Okay, Ekiti State University. Okay. Now, fortunately, the present council chairman of this profession is from Ekiti State University. The name of Mr. Olu Ajayi, Elder Olu Ajayi. I don't know if you know him. He is a council chairman. And we have a lot of graduates from the school already licensed to the profession. So, on your question, the first thing I will tell you about is what you are studying is biotechnology. And as you are doing biotechnology encompasses a lot of areas, like which microbiology is also part of it, of which some other areas, even as far as to biochemistry, some part of biochemistry under biotechnology. Now, when you graduate, you should be able to work in industries and some research facilities as a biotechnologist. You know, biotechnology is a new area of specialization that is coming to Nigeria presently. So you are opportune to be there, meaning you can work in industry, research industry, food industry. You can work in institutions such like or even pharmaceutical companies. You can also work there also. So it's just for you to know what and where your area is. That is to answer that one. Then you said you did physics. Yes, like I told you, as an SOT, you are both an engineer and a scientist. Doing physics is very, very okay. At least mostly your first year one, you'll be more involved through physics, chemistry, and some other technical courses, general laboratory techniques that have to do with offering of laboratory procedures and the rest management in the laboratory. So that is very, very common with all SLT graduates. Then your second question is how to get access to the professional exam when you graduate, that since those things have not been discussed in your school. Like I told you, the present council chairman is in your school. I don't know if he has retired, but you should answer Elder Olu Ajayi. He is the present council chairman. And you know, the council is the people that make the decisions for the profession. So when you're able to meet with him, he'll be able to tell you what to do. Aston is in your school, the association, ASUTON, Association of Science Laboratory Technologies. All schools have that. Most of the schools that offer SLT has that association. All undergraduates should meet with them. If you know of any of the lecturers that are science laboratory graduates, meet with them. They should be able to carry you people for that registration of your professional examination. And it is your duty. That is why it is good you join NASTES as an undergraduate, National Association of Science Laboratory Technology Students, NASTES. Yeah, and thank God the national president of NASTES is a very vibrant young man, very vibrant and very articulated. And he has been doing a lot of things. In fact, he has met with the institute and the association on different occasions. So you should be able to be a member of NASTES to be able to know some of all these things and ask certain questions there. But what I can tell you is, for the professional examination, it is your school that will take you for registration. Your school will be the one to take you people. They will train you people in your school for the period and not allow you people to write the professional examination. So that is for that. And I think the third
Is on the
question
grade.
you asked,
school
is on the
fees.
grade. Now,
Yes, to
yeah,
write
like I said, you I don't think the grade is an important issue or an important factor for now. As far as your academic program is ongoing, you should be able to register for licensure. So, though this institute have not spoken on that issue of grade, but I don't think the grade is a major factor that will could disqualify you from writing the examination. But like I said, it depends on what your school discuss with the institute, and that will surface. I hope your question is well answered. If you have any other doubt
yeah,
or anything you want to add, you can say.
yes, it's clear now for now. Yeah. If I have any other question, I will ask. Thank you.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Anthony. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Patience, but Mr. Anthony, can you hear her?
I can hear you, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, good evening again. Thanks for the lecture. It's an eye opener. In fact, I when I saw the ad, I was happy because I've been bothered and I have a lot of questions in my head. Although part of the teachings or most part of the teachings already did answer some questions I had in my head. But when you talked about being licensed and all of that, when we were in school, although I'm a graduate now and I'm working, when we were in school, we we had other colleagues in other tertiary institutions, polytechnics, who were inducted. They had the professional exams and they were inducted, but we did not have the opportunity. Until now, I still making like there's nobody guiding you. So I don't know how possible would that be now to register. What's the process like? That's one. And then secondly, currently I'm a scientific officer. I work in hospital management board, Edo State. Um, before I became a scientific officer, it was a tug of war because they see us as foreign bodies. Like, which one is SLT? Which one is MLT? They don't know the difference. Some see us as medical lab technicians, others see us as med lab scientists. In fact, when I was employed, I was first wrongly employed. They made me a medical lab technician, and then I wasn't going to do it. I don't want it because that's not what my profession is. That's not what my education is. I am a graduate of SLT biology microbiology, so I don't know what the whole drama is all about. But long story cut short, I was properly placed as a scientific officer. But the problem now is they they still are having difficulties finding their foot. So basically, what we just do now is we work with IPC, infection prevention and control. So basically, that what we do. I'm bothered. Like I don't know better things to do. I don't know other things to do. So that's my question.
Hello, Mr. Anthony. Mr. Anthony,
Yes,
I
can you
can't
hear
hear
me?
you. Okay, yes, now.
Hello, hello,
Yeah, we
can you
can
hear
hear
me
you
now?
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, now let me start. You see, your colleagues in other schools were inducted. Which school did you graduate from?
Auchi Polytechnic.
Okay, Aushi Polytechnic. Now, there are a lot of schools that did induction. Like I said before now, when I was answering the previous speaker who asked question, it is the duty of the association in the school to meet the institute for induction processes. It is the duty of the association in